Hey guys, today we are making Pelau, chicken Pelau. It's a favorite meal of mine around here and everyone around here loves it. My little one calls it Pelau, but it is a favorite meal and it's so simple to put together. It's a one-pot dish, which is a fantastic. Less dishes to do, hey, I am all about that. So let's go over our ingredients to get started. I have half of a large onion here that I just cut up into small pieces. One small tomato that I've just chopped up, and then I sliced it up and then cut it in half, just into small pieces. 2 large green onions that I've cut up into small pieces. A handful of cilantro that I've just chopped up really fine. You can use shadow benny, bandana, culantro. I have cilantro because that's what I can find. I also have 2 to 3 large cloves of garlic that I have grated. And I also have about 4 sprigs of thyme. I just removed a lot of the leaves from it, but I kept a few of the actual twig parts. So about 4 twigs of thyme, sprigs, twigs, whatever. I've also got 2 large carrots that I cleaned, I peeled, and I cut up into small pieces. I cut them in half, and then another half, and just get them into small pieces like so. And 1 15-ounce can of green pigeon peas. I've also got a chicken bouillon cube, right there, 1 chicken bouillon cube, as well as some brown sugar, some rice, and some chicken. Now the chicken, what you want to do is you do want to cut them up into small pieces like so, little pieces like so, and then after I cut them up, what I did was I squeezed the juice of 1 whole lime over my chicken, and I just really mixed the chicken and the lime juice together. Then I carried it over to my sink and I really washed it with my hands. I got in there and I took my fingers and I rubbed around all the bones where I cut them with the chopper so that there's no loose pieces of bones coming out, because they will get in your meal and it'll actually stick someone in the gum and nobody wants that. So really just wash your chicken really well with the lime and the water. Leave it in the water for about 5 minutes or so just to really clean that chicken really well. And I'm seasoning it with some salt and lots of black pepper, about a teaspoon of salt and about a teaspoon of black pepper. And I'm also going to just add in my onions, my tomatoes, my garlic, thyme, my green onion, and cilantro. Just add that all in, and we're going to go ahead and season our chicken with all that good stuff. And mix that around really well and let it sit for about 20 minutes or so before we start putting this together. So after about 20 minutes of marinating, I have 1 tablespoon of vegetable oil in my pot, and my heat is on medium heat. And to that, I'm going to add in brown sugar. Now, it's a lot of sugar, but we need this to brown everything and to stew the chicken and give it flavor. And what I'm doing is I'm just mixing in my sugar with my oil. And on medium heat, I'm just going to kind of bring that sugar into the center of the pot a little bit, because I want where the heat is, I don't want it to be, I want it to be evenly distributed throughout the sugar. So just going to let this sugar start to melt. It's going to start to melt at first, just like how it looks right there, but it's still going to be really clumpy and really thick. Not smooth and thick, but kind of clumpy and thick at first. And then you're just going to let this go, and it's going to start to go through the whole melting process. It's going to melt down, and I'm just going to show you what the next step looks like. You can see right here, it actually kind of starts to look a little bit lighter in some areas. I'm just going to kind of give it a stir. After every stage of the browning of the sugar, I'm just going to give it a stir, but we do want to kind of just let it do its thing. So I'm just going to give it a light stir, and then it's going to start to darken up a bit, but it's going to start having these really thick, frothy bubbles, and that's when we know we're really close to where we want it to be to add our chicken. But you can see that it's really thickened up, but it needs to thicken up a little bit more, so give it about a minute or so again. And then you'll see these bubbles. You're really looking at those bubbles going through the sugar. And then just like that, and you're going to start seeing a little dark bubbles, like a little bit of darkness throughout the bubbles. You don't want this to get too dark at all, because you're going to burn the sugar and it's going to be very bitter. So this is exactly what we're looking for. All of those bubbles, you can see that the actual sugar. Be careful, this can burn you, but those bubbles are thick and frothy, and the actual sugar mixture is very, very thick at this point, just like so. It's very thick, and that's the perfect time to add in your chicken. I'm going to go ahead and get my chicken and add it in to my sugar, and then I'm going to immediately toss my chicken all around all that sugar, every single side, for about, I'm going to toss it probably about 10 times. You're going to hear a sizzle, and you're going to keep tossing until you don't hear that sizzle anymore. Just keep tossing your chicken in that sugar until you don't hear that sizzle. I'm going to cover my pot and let this go on medium heat still for 5 minutes. I'm just going to cover it, let it do its thing for about 5 minutes. So after about 5 minutes, I'm just going to remove my lid, and then I'm going to give my chicken a toss again. Turn it around, make sure all the sides of the chicken are getting cooked in that sugar. So just going to turn it and toss it and make sure everything gets nice and cooked. I'm going to kind of put it in one layer to the bottom if you can. I was using 1.5 pounds of chicken, so my pot holds 1.5 pounds perfectly. And then I'm just going to cover it and let it go for about 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, I'm going to remove the lid, and again, I'm just going to turn it and make sure both sides and all sides of the chicken are getting cooked in that sugar, so it gets really nice and brown throughout. And then I'm just going to go ahead and cover it again and let it go for another 10 minutes. Make sure and scrape all the sides of everything of the bowl pot so everything gets nice and cooked. So after 10 minutes, I'm going to remove my lid and just go ahead and do the same exact thing. Just toss it. And what I'm doing is I'm cooking my chicken in the liquid that the chicken is releasing, sugar and everything, and that's getting infused into the chicken. I don't want to lose that liquid. I don't want to lose those flavors. So I'm cooking my chicken in that liquid. So I'm just going to go ahead and cover this for another 5 minutes or so. Just go ahead and cover that up and let it go for about another 5 minutes, and still on medium heat. We really want to get those flavors of the sauce just infused into that chicken. So after 5 minutes, I'm just going to remove my lid, and it's gotten, the color of the chicken is really nice and golden dark brown, as you can see there. I'm going to toss it one more time, and then we're just going to go ahead and start adding our rest of ingredients to this. So the first thing that we're going to add to our chicken, and even the sauce there, is some rice. It looks like 2 pieces of carrots got in there as well, but just add in the rice, and you're going to stir this, all the rice in those juices and the sugar and everything, just stir it all together. And then I'm going to add in my green pigeon peas and my carrots. And then I'm also going to stir that, and my heat is still on medium heat, and I'm just going to let this kind of toast away on medium heat for about a minute. I'm just going to leave it just like so and let it go for about a minute. And then in that bowl that we marinated our chicken in, I'm going to add in water. You want 3 cups of water, and we're going to add that water to our rice. So I just mixed around my rice a little bit there, make sure everything got off the bottom, and just added in my water. Now all I'm going to do is just take my spoon and just give everything a nice mix. Make sure everything gets off the sides and off the bottom of the pot and everything. Just give it a nice mix, and I'm going to add in my chicken bouillon cube. So I'm just going to go ahead and add in my chicken bouillon and kind of just break it up a little bit. Now I know some people like to add coconut milk to this. If you do want to add coconut milk, you definitely can. Added it. It really didn't make a big difference to me, so I just stick to it like this, and I love it. Everyone who has it loves this Pelau. It's really, really good. It's super simple, absolutely delicious. So this is going to cook uncovered for about maybe 25 minutes or so on medium heat. It's going to start to boil. It's going to start to, that liquid's going to start to reduce. And after about 10 minutes, make sure and stir it every 10 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes, so nothing gets stuck at the bottom of the pot. What I'm going to do after 10 minutes is I'm going to add in about a tablespoon or so of butter. You can use unsalted butter, regular butter, and I know they normally use Golden Ray. If you have Golden Ray, you can use it. If not, just use regular butter. It just adds a creaminess to the rice. I've used Golden Ray on many occasions, and I've used regular butter on many occasions. There is very little difference in my opinion. I think this works great, especially if you can't find Golden Ray. So let this cook down for another 10 to 15 minutes, stirring every 5 to 10 minutes or so until all of that water has just evaporated and cooked that rice perfectly. As you can see, I will have all the amounts listed below in the description box, but I have about 5 minutes to go again in this recipe. I'm going to top it with some freshly chopped cilantro. Toss it all around that rice, let the heat awaken the flavor of the cilantro and let it go through the whole meal. And by the way, guys, if you wanted to add a hot pepper to this, you can add it when you were boiling your rice with the water. When you add the water, you can add a whole pepper. You can even cut it up. You can add it when you're seasoning the chicken. It's completely up to you if you wanted to add the pepper or not. And that is it. This pilau is done. And just let it cool for a little bit, and whatever extra water will just evaporate. And that's it, guys. This meal is absolutely fantastic. It is delicious. It is simple. It is a great meal. As always, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.